Hey guys, HotRod08 here, and for today's SupportCraft video, we are creating a runes and item build for Pyke, the Blood Harbor Ripper. Now, although these runes and items aren't tried and true, based on all the information we can gather from his pre-release, we can build a firm foundation on how to build Pyke when you first either try him on the PBE server or on full release. So let's begin. Starting off with our runes, our primary tree we're going to be going down is going to be the Domination tree, and our secondary tree we're going to be going down is Inspiration tree, and together that's going to provide Pyke an additional 11 attack damage. Our primary keystone we're going to be going with is going to be Electrocute, which is going to provide Pyke additional burst damage throughout the game after he hits an enemy with either 3 separate attacks or abilities. Our greater rune we're going to be going with is going to be Sun Impact, which is going to provide Pyke additional lethality and magic penetration whenever he either uses his dash abilities, which is his E and his ultimate, or when he leaves the stealth of his W ability. And our lesser runes we're going to be going with is going to be Zombie Ward and Relentless Hunter. Now, Zombie Ward is going to provide Pyke additional vision when one of his wards expires or when he kills an enemy ward. You are overall still a support champion, and that extra vision is really going to help you out during the entire game. And then we're going to be taking Relentless Hunter because it's going to give you additional movement speed while you're out of combat. And Pyke is going to be a really good roaming champion, and that's how we're going to be building him. And our secondary runes we're going to be taking is going to be Magical Footwear and Biscuit Delivery. Now we're going to be taking Magical Footwear because it's going to give you a free pair of boots at the 10-minute mark, which is going to be really nice because we want to get him his movement speed ASAP, and that extra pair of boots is going to help him get to that point earlier. You can also take Perfect Timing if you are planning on instead going Guardian Angel at some point in this game, and that you want that extra survivability that Perfect Timing is going to give. And then our other rune, as I said, is going to be Biscuit Delivery, which is going to give you a free biscuit every 3 minutes until the 12-minute mark. And Pyke doesn't really have too much survivability rather than his passive in order to regen, so the extra survivability that the biscuits can give can really help him out during the laning phase. Or if you don't think you need that extra regeneration while you're laning, and you think it's going to be a relatively easy laning phase, you also can go Futures Market, which is going to help him get his power spikes like his boots and his Serrated Dirk a lot earlier in the game than he normally would be able to. Now, a quick note before I move on to the items, I just want to say why I'm not choosing the Precision tree, because mainly Assassins, their secondary tree would be Precision, but I'm not choosing it because the two main runes you'd be taking is going to be Triumph and Coup de Grace. Now, Triumph is going to restore 12% of your missing health, but he doesn't really gain health in the game. He's not going to have a high health pool, so that's not really going to be useful, as well as his passive regens a good amount of his health anyway, so I don't really think that rune is worth it. And then his ultimate is Execute ability, which he doesn't really need that extra damage low health enemy champions at that point if his ultimate's already just going to execute them once they're below that certain threshold. And Coup de Grace only kicks in once they're below 40% health, which is really close to your execute ability anyways. So that's why I think the Inspiration tree is going to be just a little more useful than the Precision tree for Pyke. Moving on to our items, now since Pyke is considered a melee champion, he is going to be wanting to go down the Relic line, which is going to provide sustain for both you and your ally, good amount of gold generation, and that 50 health is going to be changed into just a little bit of attack damage for him. Now, if you're going the Biscuits, you probably don't need the 3 health pots. You can just get away with the refillable potion and then use the Biscuits as they're coming in. But if you do decide to go into the Futures Market, you very well might want to go the health potions instead, but either way, at the end, make sure you get your Warning Totem. Now, on your first backspace, you're going to want to upgrade your gold item to Targon's Brace, and then you're going to want to immediately start building into Serrated Dirk. Now, that is going to provide additional damage as he's going through the game, but it's also going to provide additional poking damage while he's in the laning phase, because every time he kills a minion with his Relic Shield, it's going to proc that 30-second passive that's going to deal additional 40 bonus physical damage next time he hurts an enemy with an ability. So you're going to want to finish Serrated Dirk, and then afterwards, before you move on with the Serrated Dirk, you're going to want to build up your boots and mobility whenever you get that free pair of boots, so you can start roaming around pretty well, and then get control wards and upgrade to your Oracle Lens whenever your gold item upgrades and starts giving you wards. If you don't need the boots and mobility, or they have a lot of CC or a lot of attack damage or assassins of their own, you might want to consider going Mercury Treads or Ninja Tabby instead, but for the most part, you'll want to just keep with your boots and mobility. Your very first core item is going to be Duskblade, which is going to provide him a really good amount of lethality. It's going to give him some good damage, and it's going to give him the extra damage on his next attack whenever he is leaving that stealth ability from his W. So that is really going to be nice. Also works if he's in a bush, but it's going to work really well when he goes invisible for a few seconds and then pops out of nowhere. He's going to do a lot of damage as soon as he pops out. And then plus your support champion, so when it's passive, lets you reveal traps and disable them. That's just an extra bonus on top of it that almost no other support ever gets to be able to do. After your first lethality item, you're going to want to upgrade your gold item the rest of the way to Remnant of the Aspect in order to be able to get even more gold generation. You'll get extra attack damage from that 350 health at this point. Your second core item is going to be Youmuu's Ghostblade, which is going to provide extra attack damage. It's going to give you that good lethality, and it's going to give you additional movement speed both out of combat, and then its active ability, which is going to provide you 20% movement speed for 6 seconds. So that's going to be your core build that you're going to want to go with, and then our varying finishing items, depending on what the enemy's team comp is. You can go next with either Black Cleaver, which is going to provide him a lot of attack damage because it gives him 400 health plus the 40 attack damage in the first place. It's going to max out his cooldown reduction as well, and it's going to be able to also shred all the enemy champions that you're hitting by 4% of their armor up to 6 times, so you can shred up to 24% of the enemy's armor, which is going to both help yourself and any other AD champions, including your AD carry, that's attacking an enemy as well. So that's going to be really nice. If you think you're going to be dying a lot, Guardian Angel might be a really nice item too, since it's going to give you that attack damage, a little bit of extra armor, and then it's going to revive you after a few seconds if you do die. If you think you're going to be CC'd a lot, Mercurial Scimitar might be a good idea too, as it gives you a little bit of magic resist, some lifesteal, and it'll give you that Quicksilver Sash in order to get out of sticky situations. If you don't need Mercurial Scimitar, sorry if I said that wrong, but if you don't need that, and but you still need the magic resist because they have a lot of magic damage on the enemy team, you don't want to get burst down immediately, Malmortius is going to be a really good item for you. It's going to give you some damage, a little bit extra cooldown reduction, and it's going to give you that magic shield that's going to protect you from getting bursted down if you get caught. And then finally, if the enemies just have a lot of armor, they're stacking armor, either Lord Dominik's Regards or Mortal Reminder might be a good idea in order to get through that penetration, and you'll just choose between, depending on if they have a lot of health on their team, or if they have several people that are regenning on their team and you want to stop their regen. And finally, we're going to talk about our skill set that we're going to be taking on Pyke. Now, admittedly, this is the one I have the least amount of knowledge on before we've gotten all the numbers and statistics for each ability, but we can give it our best shot as to what we should be taking, and this is a pretty good guess. Now, our level 1, we should be taking our Q, as it's going to be our most reliable way of getting some harassment off during our level 1 trades. Our second point we're going to want to put in is our E, which is going to be our ability in order to stun enemy champions and get some more damage off on them. And then our third point, we're going to want to put in our W, which is going to be our ability in order to go invisible and to surprise enemy champions. Then we're going to want to max out our E ability first, since it's going to be our most reliable way of getting off damage onto the enemies, and to be starting off our 2v2 fights or when our jungler comes. Then, put a point into your ultimate whenever 6, 11, and 16 comes around. Then you're going to want to max your Q second, as it's going to presumably lower its cooldown to be able to hook enemy champions and slow them, as well as add extra damage when you get out your full combo. And then finally, you're going to want to max out your W last. That'll be it for this SupportCraft video going over Pyke. Do you agree or disagree with all my choices going with the runes, items, and skill sets? Please leave your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to have a discussion with you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I feature support-focused League of Legends content that I release on a weekly basis and would love your support. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, as it really helps my video rankings out, and hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button in order to be updated on my latest content. Also, I have just started up a new Patreon for my channel. If you are a huge fan of the channel, I urge you to take a look at the different perks of being a Patreoner, ranging from supporting the channel for just $1 and having your name put at the end of every video when I get up to 3 patrons, all the way up to having me as a friend on League of Legends and having me review your games and putting them up on my channel. Rather than that, you guys have a great day today. Thanks much.